because I'd be so okay. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining me for this another episode for Pretty Women Hustle Women to Watch. I have with me today Sabrina Baker, and she is the founder and lead preschool teacher of Creative Xpressions Preschool for the Arts and Creative Tots Art and Playground. Okay, that's cute. So you
So,
have a preschool for the arts, and then you have Creative Tots Art and Playgroup.
yes,
Oh, okay, so that I like the creative part
thank you. I am a big
because
art person, so yes,
I love it because kids are, being creative gets the mind going.
yes.
So what inspired you to open your school?
Well, I have been a preschool educator for, oh my goodness, now probably 12 or 13 years. I've worked in various centers. And, during the pandemic, when it hit, I was an early Head Start teacher and they had sent us home. And I
Oh,
panicked because I was just like, well, how are we going to serve these kids if we're going to be home? So that's when it clicked in my mind that, listen, if I can do this for other people, why can't I do it for myself? So that's how I began the whole journey of Creative Expressions Preschool for the Arts. And I just recently started the Playgroup. That's going to be beginning next, well, actually, in a couple of weeks. And it's a free program for parents so that they can come together in the community and meet other families. So I'm very excited.
so you're bridging the gap between the community.
Yes, it's a wonderful thing.
Okay. You know how you have to sneeze and it just keeps coming.
It keeps coming.
I'm kind of glad, like I'm authentic with my interviews, and so I don't cut a lot of stuff out. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm having a sneeze. Everybody understands it. It's life.
It's okay.
So I want to know, being like you have art, music, yoga, and play based.
Yes.
So, I mean, okay, I will ask this: How have children been able to like? Have you seen growth in children that haven't been able to express themselves?
Absolutely, absolutely 100%. Because this is, as you said in the beginning, this is their first experiences of getting to learn different things. So when they come to me, first of all, we are a small group. We only have 4 kids, and it's just me, and I run the program entirely. So they get individualized attention. And on top of that, that's when I started introducing more art-based things, hands-on learning. They love yoga every Thursday. They can't wait to spin the wheel for yoga. And it's just a great thing to just get them into learning about things that are in the real world for adults.
Oh my gosh, because children are little humans, like they're little people.
Yes,
And so being that your class is so small, your school is so small, I know you see the unique personalities of each child.
yes.
That has to be so like it has to be eye-opening because I see children like I when I go to different events because I'm on a board for an educational board here, and
Mm-hmm.
I go to different events and I see the kids and I'm like, oh, I see the extroverts, the introverts, the people, the children who can, go to different groups without a problem. So being that it's so small, you actually you have that power to tell that, like it's like so I think that is so amazing. It's only 4 children
Thank you.
because I just think that is so amazing. I know I'm like gushing over it because it's like because kids having that proper foundation is key for them to be successful in life. So
Absolutely.
with working with the parents, right?
Mhm.
How have parents been able to learn different things about their children because you're with them a lot more in a way than they are?
Absolutely. So I would have to say that honestly, bridging that gap has been the number one mission for me, other than having hands-on art activities, because I love art. But that's been critical for me to get to know these kids on a level that sometimes their parents don't even get to know. They see it as more of an acting out behavior, or something comes down the line where they're like, where did this come from? So it's really important to me that we have small groups, because I like to get to know the kids so that I can say, hey, I'm noticing that your child is struggling with reading, or I notice that your child needs a little bit more help with holding a pencil and things like that. So it gets those core things so that when they do go into kindergarten, we can already pinpoint where their child needs more help in and what they're great at, and they can just excel from there. And a lot of the times parents, they get worried when they hear, oh, my child has autism, or my child needs special with speech, or anything like that. And I tell them, it's not a death sentence, it's not the end of the world. This is the time that we can sit down and come up with strategies so that they are ready to overcome those obstacles when they get into the elementary education. So it's really just, it's a wonderful thing. And I stand by my small group. Everybody keeps saying, expand, expand. And if I do choose to expand, it's still going to be where I have one teacher for 4 children, because it is essential right now for kids, especially after the pandemic, that we give these kids what they need. They need it.
I listen. I really know I'm not gonna have no more children. I take that back.
I love
Like,
it.
if I had godchildren or nieces and nephews, I would definitely like. I love that because I've always said having smaller groups, because I see there's so many classroom overcrowdings and stuff like that, and you're bringing, you're showing that result, you having small teacher to student ratio is working. So I love that. And so I'm gonna ask this, right? So I'm in awe of your work. Like,
Thank you.
sometimes it's like, do I want to go back? No, 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 ma'am, no,
Some of the
ma'am.
parents tell me the same thing. They're like, we're blessed that we have you for this moment. And then they just refer out to like godchildren or nieces and nephews, because they're like, I'm done, I'm done. And I'm like, it's fine.
I'm just gonna say that. Listen, my oldest will be 22 next year,
Oh,
and
yes.
22, 20, and my son will be 18 next year. And I'm like, somebody said, "Oh, you should."
Oh, no, honey,
No,
that's too late to start over at this point.
some of these, like, I'm waiting for them to get married and have kids so I can have
Yes.
grandkids so I can spoil them. Because it's like this kind of a program, and I really want people to understand, parents, you are your children's first teacher.
Yes.
Let's not say, oh, that's what you're there for. And I've heard
No.
so many parents say that, and I'm like, no.
No. It's a partnership. I always tell parents it's very critical that we work in partnership. I don't want to do something here that you're not doing at home, and vice versa. We have to come together, because not only does it regulate their behavior easier because they're not going from two different environments, but it also just helps them understand what is okay and what is not okay, and what we can do so that, like I said, we're getting them ready for just being older. It doesn't even have to do with education, just as a human being on this planet, just to get them ready to social interactions, to learn to share, to learn to use and take turns, and communicate. Communication is one of the big problems we have now in schools, and with adults as well, because everything is social media. We're not taking the time to have that face-to-face connection. So I really try to limit the kids media too, because I want them to know like what it's like to communicate with others and be
I,
successful in that and confident.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm so glad that you said that, because I this whole get a child a tablet. Um, can the child talk yet?
Yeah, no, they can't.
I
They can't.
just I'm just in disbelief on this. I'm loving the fact that you said about the media, and you're teaching them how to communicate. And that is the beautiful, see, that's what I'm saying. Some people are called to do this job because one parent say something wrong to me, I'm gone. Like, you know what? Take your child, don't come back here. No. No. So I just want like, because it's like you're doing such extraordinary work.
Thank you.
And I just see because I realize now, like, because I talk to my children and they remember their preschool teacher. They remember those early education, other childhood teachers. So they're giving them a core memory that they're going to be able to take along with them throughout their educational journey. So how
Absolutely.
many children have come through your program so far?
Oh my goodness. So far, I've had over 30 children come through my preschool program already.
Oh
And
my God.
it's not even a bad thing because this is another thing that I tell parents. I had some of my students, they were temporary. They needed to bridge that gap between waiting to go into Head Start because of financial, things going on in the family, or they needed to move and they wanted to go to a different school district or things like that. So I always tell parents, I'm not offended if you come to me and you say, hey, I'm just really right now, I started a job and I need to get that gap. That's fine because at least they have something to get them into the next thing. And so that is another thing that I'm just so open with my families is if you need the help, I'm here for you. I can reach out, I can give you services, whatever you need. So it's not, I don't, when people ask me that question, I go, it's 30, but it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because at
Oh,
the end, they come back and they say, hey, Miss Sabrina, thank you so much because that helped me keep my job and be able to pay my bills and things like that. And I say, absolutely no problem. And the number one thing that my program we do is that I work with families with the pricing. Nobody has the same amount tuition every month. I work with you individually because there's a lot of financial hardships right now and with the economy going so crazy and with food prices going up, I completely understand. So that is the number one thing that I also do here is that each parent, we sit down, we have a meeting when they first come for their tour and we say, you know what is something that we can both work out so that I can pay my bills and do what I need to do and you can feel comfortable knowing not only are you bringing your child to a safe place but also that you can afford it. It's not out of your means because childcare in this country should not be the price that it is and be where people are stuck and they can't afford other things. So that is
oh.
yes,
So you have
absolutely.
really been called to do that. You're like an angel
Oh, thank you.
because so many people like, oh, I'm paying $3,000 a month and they can't afford it.
Yes. It is. It's
So
just a terrible thing that we have to go through that as people in this country. And that's why I said, if it takes me being small, I'd rather be small and be a unique experience for not only children, but families, but to just make sure that people have what they need.
and I love that. I don't know if you're frozen on your end, but I'm frozen on mine.
I can see
Um,
you. Yeah.
am I frozen?
No, you're unfrozen. You were frozen for a second, but you're good.
Okay, good. So my question would be like my final question would be how can people find you? And also, how can they support you? Do you
Oh
have an
my
Amazon
goodness.
wish list or anything like that?
Oh my goodness. So I'm actually getting ready to start it where I do have an Amazon wish list because I actually work with a couple of other programs in my town. I work with Angels and Dragonflies Children's Charity. So they actually donate toys to us. They gave us a fabulous Christmas for my students. And I actually work with my church, Christ Episcopal Church. We do a food pantry every first and third Saturday. So I actually volunteer there and they, whatever food that they don't need, my parents every 2 weeks, we have backpacks for them that go home to the kids so that they have food, so that there is not a food insecurity. So you can definitely find me on social media. My preschool name is Creative Expressions Preschool for the Arts. I do have a website. I will send it and I can link it for you. And also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at CX Arts Preschool. That's how you can find me. And I'm always free to chat, even if you don't live in the East Stroudsburg area in Pennsylvania. I still work with families, even if you're coming to visit the Poconos or you're having a wedding and you need childcare. I'm open to those things as well. So I'm always here to help. And even if you need for your town or city, if you need resources, I'm your girl. I will find it for you.
Oh my gosh. You are a blessing. Like
Thank you.
I can't like this is what I'm saying. Like if y'all listen, this is the stuff people need to research before they have children. I'm speaking from experience. Like, I really wish I did some more research before me and my ex-husband had these children. But then again, my learning experience has taught me that I need to tell people, do your research, find out, make a plan so that you can be supported through your whole journey as a parent, because there's no manual.
No,
And
it's
there's
not. And I'm even learning as an educator for the future when I do have kids of how things are and what's in, what's not in, what's acceptable, what isn't, because it's always changing. So it's a great thing. So don't even worry. And I tell like my parents, I always tell them, listen, I just learned that today too. The kids are talking about all this stuff on the tab, and I'm like, what?
I'm telling you, this generation, these kids are teaching us stuff, even though I was born before the internet. So
Right, I was with the dial-up age, all right, where we had to wait. Nobody's on the phone line.
them discs, those AOL discs, honey,
Yes.
stacks of them. So I really want to thank you for speaking to me today. Once again, y'all, please follow her on social media. And thank you so much for tuning in to another interview with 10 Women to Watch for 2024 for Pretty Women Hustle magazine. This is your contributor, Chandra Gore, and I want to make sure you tune in for the next one.